Hello there, Kay. Thank you so much for choosing me to do an internet reading for you like this. I do appreciate it. Hello there, everybody else. Thank you for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. I appreciate all of your support. So if anybody out there would like me to answer one question for you on the internet for the very low price of $6, all you have to do is check out my website to find out how to do that. If you would like to have a more private reading, I do have a couple of variations of those. One is a pre-recorded one and one is a live reading. You can check those out on my on my website as well. And I also do Reiki, and I have an addiction relief service for those of you wanting to quit an addiction. Reiki is one thing, the addiction relief is a different thing. And all of those can be done at a distance or in person if you happen to be in or around Golden, Colorado area. And then I also have psychic parties for those in or around the Golden, Colorado area, unless you want to pay my travel to someplace farther away. But psychic parties being where I lead you and your guests to discovering and exploring your own psychic abilities, or where I read for you and your guests. And then the other thing I do for somebody in the local area is I do house clearings. So if you have a house that's been on the market that hasn't sold for a while, it might be a good idea to have the energy refreshed. Or if you just have an entity that is bothering you in your house, I'm the girl to call for that. That's all on my website. All you guys have to do is just check it out. If you figure I'm the right person for you, then just give me a call or text me or whatever, and we'll get it all worked out. Okay, so cards are cleared for Ms. K, and we are getting ready to do her reading. So I want to go through her question while I'm actually shuffling these cards. She says she's Aries, fire sign. Thank you for telling me that, but actually, by the way, I don't need to know that. Everything that I get is from the cards or from my own, whatever I pick up psychically. I know enough astrology to be dangerous to myself, so I try not to put that into my readings. No need to be dangerous to other people too. Okay, let's see. Over the years, I am on again, off again love triangle with somebody who doesn't give me much of his time. How come I didn't line this page up better before I started this? Excuse me while I take care of that. Okay, I'm in an on again, off again love triangle with someone who doesn't give me much of his time. Karmic lessons I need to learn, I gather. I have things to say about that, but that's not what was asked about. I only have a few people to go out with and have fun nowadays, but they are either too busy with other people in their lives or not interested in doing the things I like to do. What am I supposed to be learning from this? Why am I being forced to be alone and have little to no one to go out with and be able to live the fun, outgoing, busy, adventurous life that is part of my nature? So we really actually have two questions there. What am I supposed to be learning from this, and why am I being forced to live this way and it's against my nature? First of all, we're just going to focus on the what am I supposed to be learning from this question, because I don't really believe we're forced to do anything. That's all just in our heads. We can perceive that we're forced to do something, but really when you back out of the reality, there are choices that we could make that would change things. So let's focus on what am I supposed to be learning from this? What should Kay be learning from this situation? What is the best thing for Kay to take away from this situation? Before I've even got the cards down, one of the things that's coming through is that it's time to relax. It's time to relax. So, Miss K, part of what I'm hearing is, you know, you have this adventurous life. You're used to having this adventurous life. You're used to being go, 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 go. One of the go-go girls. But now you're coming to a point where it's time to learn how to chill. There's a certain art to chilling. And a lot of us don't know it. There are times in my life when I have had no idea how to chill out, and I'm sure there will be those times again, uh, just because of the way things cycle for me. But this is a time for you to be relaxing, be chilling, being able to appreciate and savor the moments, even if they're not exciting or adrenaline causing or anything that you would necessarily write home about. Okay, so that's the first thing that comes up. Let's put down the cards and see what else Sacred Spirit wants to show us here for you, Ms. K. What do we have here, my friends? I always like to take my time a little bit whenever I'm first starting a reading, especially in a public reading, because I can feel energy from a lot of people besides just Kay. So I want to make sure I'm really focusing in on Kay's situation. But also, I want to make sure that I'm getting the right story before I just start jabbering, because this is important stuff for the client. Whether it's important to me or not, or whether it impacts me or not, doesn't make a difference. But to the client, this is important. So you can't mess this stuff up. So if I'm quiet for a little while, please understand, it's just because I'm making sure that I'm doing my job well. So the first thing that really jumps out at me here, Ms. K, there's a few things that jump out at me. The first thing that I'm going to talk about that jumps out at me is that I see that you're highly intuitive yourself. Now, I have done private readings for people that when I say that, they're like, what? Me? I don't think you're looking at the right person. And then I've had other ones that go, oh, yeah, I've been reading for 20 years. So I'm not sure which kind of reaction you're going to have there or where you're going to fall on that scale. But like I said, one of the very first things that jumped out at me is that you're highly intuitive yourself. And so those of us who are highly intuitive, there can be a lot of time whenever we're being really introspective and looking at what is making us tick. And that may be a part of why this time is here. It may be a part of you actually developing your intuition, because those of us who are intuitive and utilize that on purpose, I think that we don't get good at what we do unless we really know ourselves well. So this may be a time when your intuition is really growing, when it's really expanding, because you do have this time to get to know you better than you have before. Because let's face it, when you have the other people around you, that's distraction. That's distracting from focusing on yourself. Some people live for that. They don't know how to live with quiet. They don't know how to be by themselves. And, for other people, they would much rather be by themselves. But being around other people distracts us from our own thoughts about ourselves and about everything else. So I think that this is a part of you heightening your own intuition, you understanding yourself better, what makes you tick, where do your emotions come from, what makes you trigger, what doesn't, all of those little details that, when we're busy and doing adventurous stuff, we're not paying so much attention to. We're just living, we're doing, we're going. So that's a big part of it. And that's probably the first thing that jumped out at me. And then you've got a really strong theme here too about part of what it is that you're supposed to be thinking about and sort of working out for yourself right now is this whole idea of this relationship that's been on again, off again, that you don't get a lot of time from the other person. This is a time for you to be thinking about, well, what I have here is that this really isn't working for you. And when I say it isn't working for you, that doesn't mean that you are not putting on a happy face and that you're not appreciative of any time that that person finds to spend with you, that could very easily be going on. But I think also inside your heart of hearts, you're kind of thinking, you know what, I deserve somebody's full attention. I deserve to be the apple of somebody's eye, and so this is what's coming up here. I mean, I have two cards saying that this isn't really working for you. Okay. And so even though you may be trying to put on a happy face and act like everything's fine, inside, this is not feeling so good. And this is really an attack on your own self-esteem as far as the effect that it's having on you to stay in this situation, because it's making you just feel like, well, I'm not worthy of someone spending that time with me. If I was worthy of it, they would be. So there's a lot of reasons why this isn't working. And so this time is a time to really be reflecting on, okay, why isn't this working for me? I thought that I would be okay with this, but emotionally, I'm really kind of not. I'm not showing that I'm not, but I'm really kind of not. And kind of figuring that all out. And when we figure out what's not working, then we start to look at, well, what would work? And I think that's the next step that's coming up here is, okay, picking apart why isn't this enough for me? And then figuring out what would be enough for me? What would work for me? Is there something that would work for me with this person who only wants to give me a limited amount of their time? Or do I actually want more than what this person is willing to do? Those are all things that right now, this is the time for you to be sorting all of that out for yourself. I mean, at 32, 33, 34, this is kind of the time to be figuring out where a lot of us figure out, do I want to have a partner? What level of partner do I want to have? Do I want to have someone that I just see every other weekend or every weekend and we go out and have fun and then we leave each other alone for the rest of the week? Do I want to have a fully committed partner? All of this stuff. This stuff is coming up as a huge, huge theme here as you have quiet time to think about this right now. Okay? And then the other thing that comes up is that this person that you're in this relationship with doesn't necessarily have the best personality right now. I feel like they're going through a lot of depression, and that is affecting the interactions between the two of you. There may be a lot more quiet going on between the two of you because of this. There may be a lot of grumpiness coming from him to you because of this. But because he's going through depression, this is affecting what's going on in the relationship. And I think that you've been really trying to cut him slack. I don't think I'm giving you a news flash when I tell you he's not in a good place emotionally. And I think you've been trying to just kind of let things ride and wait for things to get better. But really, it's time to look at what are you dealing with from this person. Is it worth your time, your energy, your effort, your emotions to deal with the things that you're dealing with from this person for what you're getting back? Are you getting re-energized from this person? Are you getting happiness from this person? Or are you getting depleted more often than you're getting anything like that from this person? So it's time to really look at the energy flow that's going back and forth between the two of you. Is this person anywhere near giving as much as you are to this relationship? And so, I mean, because you sacrifice a lot when you have a relationship to somebody who is not available. You're sacrificing a lot of time that you could be spending with somebody who's a more full partner. You're sacrificing a lot of fulfillment that you could get from experiencing things and doing things with and for this other person. I mean, there's a lot that you're sacrificing in your life when you're doing that. And it's time to really take an honest look at that and evaluate, is this really what you want? Okay, and I know this is like a pretty heavy duty message to have come out here, but this is what's showing up, and it's showing up pretty loud and clear that, you know, this time of where you're getting a lot of time where you're feeling isolated is definitely a time to be working out some things in your mind about what it is that you really want and what it is you've been settling for, and how to bridge the gap between those two, especially when it comes to partnership, romantic partnership. Okay, so that's your reading, my dear. I hope that you find it helpful. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll see you all on the next video.